So it's been a long day. Been up for 24 hours. You can probably tell by the bags under my eyes. But I'm home. I would have made this video 30 minutes ago, but Clyde, the pit bull in the house, he decided to start whistling underneath the door. And you can't very well make a Ramble video without Mountain Dew and feeding the pit bull first. Pit bulls, very misunderstood animals. You got breed-specific laws about them all around. Oh, and wonderful, there's a train coming. So, at some point, you're going to hear a train whistle. But pit bulls, just like me, with the mean face, they get misunderstood. You know, I've had to deal with it all my life, and in most of my career, my adult career, I've had to be intimidating. It's been part of the job description, and that's something that I've come to understand. What is intimidation, and what is a show of authority? Clyde, by the way, he's also the pit bull that bit Exiled in the face. So there may be something to all that. Poor dog, though. I mean, he didn't shit right for a week. He had to be cleaned out with oatmeal. It's a horrible, horrible story. But I'm going to disarm you with that story, because we're talking about intimidation. And maybe I'll even snap a little, like Matthew McConaughey in some of his more eccentric roles, and speak in a low, non-aggressive manner, It's not going to be hard for me right now. I'm on 24 hours awake. I'm kind of tired, but I wanted to get this out before I went to sleep. And I probably won't say everything that I want to say about this, but intimidation. I've been sizing up people for many, many years. It's been part of my job description. It started back when I was in the Army. The first thing that you learn is that you are a tiny little worm, a maggot, and that you have to be broken down to be built back up. And this doesn't work for everyone. I would say that there's a pretty high washout rate in basic training in all of the armed services. And it's because some people just don't respond to that. Different strokes for different folks, I guess, right? So, through a career in the Army, you'll learn that in order to lead, you have to learn how to follow first, And you learn about teamwork and how it's very motivating in getting people to not misuse their authority because they need to count on you. And there's incentive for them to not bully people. Bullying is bad, right? But understandable showing of authority is something that gets jobs done. And from my first experiences in using intimidation, I realized that there were two people in the equation, right? And very often there are people who get broken down very quick, and then there's people who are resistant, But there are some people who recognize the entire theatrics for what they are. And that would have been me. And realizing that it's just a show, it really helped me get through a lot of bad experiences. But another thing about intimidation that's kind of what I want to get at here. Visibility. It's a big part of it. Presence. Those two things make up a good 90% of what it means to intimidate someone. For instance, when I would pull guard duty and have to guard a building for 24 hours, when I went outside to patrol around the building, I very often was told to put on a road guard vest. Now, I'm in the Army when I'm doing this, so I'm wearing a camouflage uniform, and then ironically putting a big reflective road guard vest on top of that camouflage. And what's the purpose of that? Well, you're not supposed to sneak up on a would-be burglar when you're a guard. Part of being a guard is showing that you're there. That intimidation will keep 99% of would-be burglars away. If they know that somebody's there and watching, they're going to go find another softer target. Bouncers. In order to be a bouncer, can you be a toothpick kind of guy? Can you be somebody who's out of shape? Or if you're hiring a bouncer, are you not going to look for certain characteristics in them that are very visible? Now, you could be very large and out of shape and be a successful security person or bouncer. Like I've seen at rock concerts some very large, out of shape security guards. I don't even know where they bought their uniforms. Not at any normal uniform supply store. So those large security guards. But they have to look like they can get the job done visibly. And once they get that part, the visibility, the having the look, once they get that down, the rest of their job is easy. That is their job, is to look the part. Okay? So, link in the description box. I got a video response to my last video from Robert Wallace, and he said that I might not understand the definition of lunk. And then he put forth his own definition, which included in the lunkness being an asshole. And I've heard different variations where things like being sexually predatory makes you a lunk. Being a conservative, as strange as it is, gets associated with the musclehead mindset. Those definitions, plus the Planet Fitness definition, which was, they measure with their lunk alarm in decibels. So part of their measure of who a lunk is how much noise they're making. A very intimidating thing, noise, So, for me, my definition of a lunk would have a lot to do with presence and visibility. Okay? The other factors that people want to throw in, like their personality, them giving advice that is not asked for, and all that, I don't think that is the largest part of what being a lunk is. Being a lunk is being intimidating. Now, you can disarm people with a joke and a smile, snapping your fingers, and still have a large frame and muscles. But I haven't heard any descriptions of a lunk being a big, fat guy who's intimidating people, or a big, skinny guy, or just small man syndrome guy. You know, most of the descriptions I've seen in responses to all of this conversation have centered around muscle heads, like Schwarzenegger, bodybuilder types, Gold Gym membership people. Okay. So, I think I understand what a lunk is. I just don't subscribe to everyone else's definition of lunk when it fits their point, whatever it is that they're making. And larger point than any of that would be, once again, definitions are important, and people will appeal to the definitions that they think will help their argument, and kind of eschew all other definitions that don't help their argument. And this has been a problem with other words that I don't even want to bring up all of the history with people on YouTube and definitions. With Robert Wallace, with Bionic Dance, and for me, the biggest offender in that respect would have been Together for Peace, but he privated all of the videos that would have shown the history of him and how definitions and shell games kind of took over every conversation. But Robert's video is a special video to me because it shows a very illustrated feeling of being a bully victim. It shows how people can feel when they're intimidated, and that feeling is real, right? Never am I going to tell you that bullying doesn't happen. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that feeling isn't real. In fact, that feeling being real is part of my cynicism about Planet Fitness, because I feel like they are marketing to exploit that feeling. And I am not convinced that all of that marketing will help people in the long run in certain aspects of psychological health. Robert's account isn't the only account I've gotten since I made that last video of people who have been intimidated, bullied, harassed. Some of the stories that I've heard, if it weren't for the people telling me about them, I would think that they were, just unreal and Hollywood movie scripts. I don't get those experiences often, and I think it might have to do with me looking more intimidating, just meaner, even though right now I'm walking around out of shape. But to be clear, bullying does happen, and more than that, more important than bullying being real, you don't have to prove that point. I'll concede that. Those feelings are real. The feelings of what it's like to be part of the out group. Whether you are not in shape, fat, skinny, or otherwise. Whether you're not part of the majority of the politics around you, the religion around you, the whatever. Whether you're not the right gender for whatever situation. Those feelings can be very, very powerful, and I think that is the best part of Robert's video. But I guess my cynicism is that the marketing of Planet Fitness exploits those feelings because they're part of the human condition, and more people experience those feelings than you would expect, because a lot of the people doing the bullying or the damage to other people themselves have been hurt. It's we hear this in Hollywood, or even B movies, Lifetime movies, and it still doesn't sink in as a truth every time that we're talking about this issue. You know, even those people who look like they have not been affected will respond to marketing to that feeling. Okay? It is such a part of the human condition, and I just think that Robert's colorful explanation, it really is powerful, and it shows how powerful the marketing is. That is, Robert hears about this stuff, and he's immediately on board, and he's had this strong feeling. Okay, so with marketing, it's not always the case that they have to create a need. Sometimes they just co-opt it. Kind of like a church saying that they're going to give you everlasting life. Well, death is a problem, right? Everyone faces it. It's kind of universal, just like this human condition feeling that we're describing. And they sell the solution. And many of us don't buy into it being a solution. And in the same respect, I don't buy the Planet Fitness marketing as being the solution to the problem. But, with just a cursory knowledge of Planet Fitness, and maybe even less experiences with them than I've had, and I haven't had enough experiences to really get a feel for how they are affecting people. I will revisit them. But Robert said at least twice in his video that places like Planet Fitness are necessary. After telling me that I don't know the definition of lunk, I'm just going to point out he doesn't know the definition of the word necessary, because in the same video he explains how he himself lost 100 plus pounds without using this necessary thing. It's only necessary if you don't get any results without it. It's necessary if you absolutely need it. I do not think that word means what you think it means. And because of my background in physical fitness, especially the Army's method of training people, I've come to view all gyms as being unnecessary. All of them are trying to sell you a plan. Much like thigh masters or shake weights are unnecessary, Planet Fitness is unnecessary to your fitness. You can get all of those things at home by yourself, and what is necessary is determination. You could get fit using a thigh master or a shake weight. You could get fit going to Planet Fitness, and I'd say it's probably a bit easier, but you don't need those things. Okay? The marketing will make you feel like you need it. Okay? But what you really need is the determination to keep using them. Now for some tangents here. The lunk alarm. Now that I understand that it's only set off by decibels, I want a lunk alarm variation for Buffalo Wild Wings. because this is something that does get to me. The level of noise in Buffalo Wild Wings makes me not want to go. I love chicken wings. I love UFC fights. They're both there, but I can't stand how loud that place gets. Especially during UFC fights. So I want a Buffalo Wild Wings lunk alarm, or whatever you want to call it when it gets there. I'll call it the frat boy alarm. Even though people will have different definitions for what a frat boy is, there's mine. The people who get loud in Buffalo Wild Wings that I don't like. There's my frat boy definition. So yeah, I have things that will intimidate me. That's one of the reasons why I like this medium, is because when I'm speaking in a conversation, I have a problem myself with allowing other people to finish their thoughts, finish their sentences, and then when they walk over me, I stop and listen more. I'm a listener, right? It's especially disarming to me when someone says, no, 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 and stops me in mid-sentence like a no machine gun, no, 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 no. And it will actually blank my mind, And I've had this problem in Skype calls where there would be a moderator like Calintz. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description box. He hasn't been around much in my life, but I did call him last week. But I would send him messages because he would be moderating. I'd be like, I have something to say, but it's hard for me to jump in because people seem to want to jump in right after somebody else, and I'm just not rude. That's how I see it. But it's a matter of voice intimidation, and I work on it, but I really love this way of getting my feelings out because I feel like I never get to the end of where my train of thought is going in a normal conversation. I get walked over. So I've picked this safe zone. Is this healthy? No. I really need to address things as they come up in normal conversations with real people. Once people get past the external shell, and they get to know me, that's when I run into these problems of just conversationally, I get walked over. So I understand intimidation. I understand bullying. It happens. I understand that people's feelings about this issue are deeply ingrained, and I also understand that it's hard for some people to really admit some of these basic truths that I might have said in this video. Okay? Truths like, the proof is in the pudding, and if you really want to lose weight, do what Robert Wallace did, not what he's saying in his response video to me, which would be join Planet Fitness. No, do what he did and use the kind of determination that he finally achieved, that let him lose all that weight. And if you want to lose just a little bit of weight like me and you think that there might be something wrong with your health, go see a doctor. That's also a good point. But if you really, really want to lose weight the healthy way, do what Robert Wallace did. Kudos to him for keeping up with it for 15 months. Hopefully, it will extend his life. He did frame this in a life or death manner, And when he gets that extra bit of life, maybe he can deal with the other demons that make it hurt still, Does losing weight help you feel better about what happened to you? No. It doesn't. You know, does running away from any problem, and going to a place like Planet Fitness where no interaction with other people is promoted, where you can put in your headphones and just get on a machine and watch the TV and ignore everyone else. And, does that really help you with your social skills? And some of the reasons why you got into the rut that you did that don't have to do with just determination? No, it doesn't address those at all. In fact, it can be even more harmful to certain people to never have to address those issues, you know? And these are some of the things that concern me about this model of selling people coddling in order to get them to exercise more. It's working as far as a business model. This company is growing. I've been shown that they've at least had a linear growth since their inception, and it's not like other places that use social justice warrior lingo in that a lot of movements, they have a big explosion at the beginning and then they wane. You know, yeah, this looks like something that keeps growing and growing. We're going to have purple equipment all over the country one day, probably. Everything will be purple. And purple doesn't mean feminine or gay or awkward to me, like some people have put in the description box, or sorry, in the comments below the description box. To me, it originally was like royalty, you know. It's the color of royalty to me. So, yeah, just saying, oh, they're trying to gayify things and push a liberal agenda because everything's purple. Anybody could use purple for any meaning. Purple and yellow together just, to me, looks like a really contrasting way to get letters to pop, and popping letters, as we all know, who, on YouTube, they really work on thumbnails. That's why people put yellow letters with a outline around the letter on their thumbnails so that you'll click more, the clickbait. Marketing and patterns. Yay. I'm going to go get some sleep. I'm going to upload this. I'm going to hope that people don't get all riled up so much by the time I wake up that I have to, pop an Excedrin or two before I go to Planet Fitness and work out. Because this is a very, very trifling small subject that has just bumped into some very, very painful feelings that people have had. My opinion on a gym is now, I am the reason why people have had pain in their lives. No, my opinion on a gym is my opinion on a gym. And Exile, I hope your face heals soon. Clyde is sorry.